fascinated by decision making. Mostly I've made some pretty horrendous ones in my life myself. And my desire to be able to transform my understanding of making good decisions from something that's an abstract phenomena that's out there and conceptualise it and quantify it in my own life and work and negotiate with it is why I'm here today. So I'd like to share some of my discoveries with that. So after some postgraduate study a few years ago, I got the impetus to find out, what is this decision-making business? It's so important, but how does it work? And then in 2015, I was fortunate enough to be awarded a sabbatical, and I had won a scholarship to attend an Australian initiative in leadership and excellence. It was one of the best programs that I've ever done. And that gave me further motivation to do some research and study. And as a result, I've come up with what I call the 3 core drivers of making delicious decisions. So I'm just going to leave that there for a minute and let's just come back to this whole decision-making process. I'm going to ask everybody to do something. Don't worry, it won't hurt and you can't fail. So just where you are right now, just put your best foot forward, even when you're sitting down. Just put your best foot forward. Excellent. Okay, choose one of your arms now and put it up as far as you can, as high as you can. Well done. Okay, put it higher. Okay, back down again. So we've just made a couple of decisions. I'm wondering, when I asked you to put your hand as high as you can, that you didn't. None of you did, because you could all put it higher. And we all have a habit of limiting our own decisions. How many decisions do you think you make each day? Has anybody got any idea? Simon Moore is not allowed to answer this question. But you're very good at facts and figures and things. About how many decisions do you think you make in a day?
Maybe 100.
Maybe 100 decisions?
625.
Oh, well done. You actually, according to, and it has been substantiated and approved by Mr. Google, we make around 35,000 decisions every day. And those decisions, individually or incrementally, will influence your life outcomes. So they are crucial, either by themselves or step by step by step. So what do we do to empower ourselves with the skills to be able to make good decisions? We're all familiar with the line down the middle of the page with pros on this side and cons on the other. We know that falls well short. And we know we are influenced by our environment. We ask people, we watch people, and hopefully we learn by our own mistakes. But how come, what kind of value do we put on the learning of making good decisions? And why is it that some people can make great decisions that lead to having happy, successful and meaningful lives, while others fall well short, no matter how hard they try? So about 20 years ago, I met a woman who had escaped from a religious sect. It was a new one for me. She had been controlled all her life, and she said to me, although she absolutely loved her family and friends, she knew inside that it was her right to make her own decisions. So she left alone in the new world. However, she thought that when she got out here, we'd be all so happy and full of joy because we get to make our own decisions. We have the luxury of choice. You can imagine how disappointed she was. She said, I feel like shaking people and saying, for goodness sake, you get to choose. And we do. You see, the way that you choose to treat the gift that is your life will determine the level of happiness, success and meaningfulness that you will aspire to. I'm going to say that again. The way that you choose to treat the gift that is your life will determine the level of happiness, of success and meaningfulness that you will aspire to. A gift? You? Yes, you are. You see, never before in the history of the world and never again in the future is someone exactly like you going to exist. You are not one of 7.7 billion people. You are one of one. So statistically, you are a gift. So let's go back now and have a look at our drivers. So after quite a lot of study, first I was looking at all the wrong places. I've come up with what I call the 3 core drivers for making delicious decisions. So let's have a look at them. I've got an acronym called TIE. So let's take, I think these people just down here, you're going to be the T for tangible. You are the driver that represents what you say and what you do. So we've all got things we say and do, and it does represent who we are. And let's look in the middle here, looking at these people here. You can be the information driver, and inside that information is all your knowledge. It's a lot easier to get that and upskill today, especially every 15 hours now, information that's available is double. It's incredible. 15 years ago, it used to be every 2.5 years. You've got your information in there, and you've also got your logic, where you say, oh yeah, that makes sense. So that's in that driver. And over here, these people here, you can be the energy driver. It's a very significant driver, just as big as the other two. And inside that, that's where you've got your gut feeling, your gut instincts, your feelings, your desires, your motivation. It's also got what I call your anchors. It's where your values and your beliefs are. And what I found really interesting, well, I've done quite a few engagements now, is that people are saying they don't know what their values really are. They don't know what their beliefs actually are and how it fits into life. It's like me with decision making. I thought it was an abstract phenomenon, and pulling it into your life is really important. So basically, when what you know and what you feel and what you do align to be the same thing, you should be able to make good decisions. However, we also need a huge dose of self-awareness, both internally and externally. So we need to dive into our drivers and have a look. Oh, and that can feel a bit yuck. I know I've been in particularly my energy driver quite a lot thinking, actually this is my problem. I've got to get over this self-sabotaging or lack of confidence. I've just got to stop it. So let's have a look when we don't have all of these things in order. I usually draw this, but a little bit short on time today. So over here, we're all familiar with the circus where we have the high striker, it's called. We've all seen it on TV or at the circus if you're old enough. And so I'm just going to put the names in here, if I can get my bag open, and have a look and see what happens. So when what you know and what you feel and what you do are not the same thing, you are likely to be in a state that I call chaos or trauma. This normally happens when you have a shock. I had a shock quite a few years ago, and I found myself, well, it happens most days when I look in the mirror, but I found myself in a shoe shop buying 2 pairs of shoes, the same style and different colours. And I didn't know what I was doing. I'd actually lost a very special person, and that was just, that's what happened. So people are often in that state, but for a short period of time. And then we've got, we're going to call that the state of chaos, so we don't want to be down here. And then we've got the people who know lots of things, and they're really excited, so they're using their knowledge, and they've got their energy driver. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to buy this new car. I'm going to travel the world. Could be me. I'm going to finally wash the kitchen floor. So you get all this excitement, you're enthusiastic, and people think it's a great idea, but they've got this massive roadblock down here to the tangible driver. They're just not doing it. I'm sure lots of people can relate to that. So they are in a state of inaction. Some people will call you people of great potential. Other people will call you a procrastinator. So, or if you've got teenagers who said lots of things and got these bad ideas and didn't do them, you call them lots of names that I won't use today. So we've got those people. And then we have the people who have great ideas over here, and they are going to do these great ideas. They're going to make a video. They're going to do amazing things. They're going to write a book. They're going to do incredible things, And they are the kind of people that are selling fur coats on Takapuna Beach in the middle of summer because they're completely ignoring this lovely group down here of information and of knowledge. So they've got the great idea, they're doing it, but they haven't actually gone and had a really good look into their information drive to see what's going on. And they are, so I'm going to put these people up here, they are the people of directionless action. I feel like that when I'm doing my housework. Not a plan. They don't have a plan or a purpose or a project, so it's not organised. So down here we've got inaction. And up here, and it's interesting, many New Zealanders say they fit here. They're doing what they think is best. So we've got the people with all the information and they're doing the right things. I come across a doctor who, well, he was a doctor, who told me that when he was at school, he was great at sciences. Everybody told him, you should be a doctor. His parents said, you should be a doctor. He cared about people. He became a doctor. He was a good doctor. One day, chucked it in, bought a coffee cup, moved to Tauranga. What happened? In his energy driver, he realised, oh, I want to be a doctor. So often we will overlook that, it's particularly deficient where we think we should be. So that story has a great ending though. He sold some coffee to a woman that he fell in love with. They both like living off the grid. So they bought a chunk of land, built a house themselves, got married, had a child, and he does work at Tauranga Hospital 2 days a fortnight to finance growing whatever it is they grow on their chunk of land or make their generators work, so it can have outcomes. However, so I call that the state of personal unfulfillment. And normally, we have people putting stickers up there, but I've got some words there that you might think they're going to stop you using that muscle to get right to the top. And up here is where you've got the freedom of joy. Because what you know and what you feel and what you're doing are the same thing. And you're truly honouring your own unique human dignity. And so why do I call this delicious decisions? When you say that, I've been a theatre person for quite a few years, when you say delicious decisions, you have to say it down here, because if you say it in your mouth, it comes out like delicious decisions, or worse or better. When you say it down there, it actually gives you a lift, so it's like a, oh, and you can do it during the day, it's like a wine, but you can't get into the cold off at work. If you get into the habit of doing that, so when you do wash that kitchen floor, go, oh, that was a delicious decision. If you do get through that pile of paperwork, oh, that was a delicious decision. Really important that you articulate it though, really important. So I'm going to take the day off tomorrow and lie in bed and read books because I'm not feeling great. That's a delicious decision. I've just been recently in a weight loss group and I see all these people writing in. I feel so guilty. I had this cake last night and I'm straight in there, don't you be ridiculous. It was a delicious decision at the time. Get rid of that film and get over there and carrying on loving and caring yourselves, because we do want to have the valve to get to the top. So that was a very quick 10-minute plus whirlwind of a 14-minute keynote. And before we stop, I want you to turn around and say to someone, this is a delicious decision like you read it.
This is a delicious decision.
And say it to somebody else.
This is a delicious decision.
And look, everyone was smiling. Have you made a delicious